Well, here we are, the ending of what has been a massive season for us racing. We have finished every race, heat, feature, everything, and it has been a long journey. We had one race that we didn't make out for, but that ended up being scrapped because there wasn't enough nominations. So realistically, we've run every race meeting that's had the late models nominated, and yeah, tonight it is the final points meeting of the year, and we are, based off of doing quick maths, looking back through results and counting it all up. We, I believe, sitting in the top four. I don't want to say where I believe we are sitting, but I think we are top four at the moment. So unofficially, I will take a top four. But I won't find out officially where we are until the awards night at the end of May, which then I'll do a whole season recap and everything else about how it's all planned out, and what our plans are moving forward into next year. But with that being said, final points meeting, and we are looking good. We've got the confidence up from where we were this time last year, and we've actually been able to complete a lot more races to the point that we've developed ourselves both on and off the track and actually understanding what needs to be done. So, going to take that into today and hopefully come away with a really good result and lock in that top four finish in the track championship. So, with that being said, guys, look, we're locked and loaded. We're heading to the track very, very soon. So, be sure to hit the subscribe button down below, put the bell notification on as well. Go and follow our socials. All the links, even our sponsors, will be down in the description down below, and go and show them some love and support as well. Thank you for everything you guys have done this year, and we will see you guys out on track and hopefully even trackside next year. But stay tuned. This is going to be one big race meeting, and we will see you guys on the other side.
What is going on, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to another video. This is the final points race of the season, so it is basically a do or die. We've got 6 late models out there, so it was a quality field, as you'll find out as the night progresses. Yeah, so lining up, getting ready to go like we usually do. We always start in turn 1, make our way around to a pace lap, and we then will line up on the back of the grid. So, and you see just sort of pacing around. Transponder check is what we call it, so the tower can check our transponders. So this is heat 1, and we're starting out of P3, so the inside second row. I'd much rather the inside line rather than the outside line. You know, you're right up against that curb. You can see sort of where I stand on the podium. You can sort of see where everything's at and where the car's running. So we played around with it a little bit. We retuned it again. We've done a lot with the car prior to the race meeting. So this was sort of a retest as to see how it goes. And as we come to the green, we get a little bit of a hip and shoulder. But we find our way back through, drop back to last, come back through, and we overtake Chris, and we finish the first lap in P4. As you see, the nose cone's still bending into the ground. We're not quite sure why it keeps doing that. We've sort of explored a few options to work it out, but currently nothing has actually come about as to why it's doing that. So we did end up sort of fixing it when I came back into the pits. Just threw a couple of cable ties to hold the nose cone support up a little bit so that it stops it from dragging on the dirt. But yeah, currently running 4th, and I think we actually finish in 4th place as the WA1 comes through and laps us. But yeah, this was probably one of our better heats that we had. The car felt quick. Unfortunately, we just got off to a terrible start at the beginning of the night, and there was nothing we could do about it. We were too far behind. So we've lapped Chris, who's in 5th, and the yellow car behind us is Clive. He now comes through and laps us. So as we hit back with the slider, unfortunately we just couldn't maintain control, and we decided to let him back through again. So that we finish P4 and we move on to Heat 2. I do just want to say I do apologise for the blurry vision in Heat 2. We had some camera difficulties due to the lighting and sort of just playing around a little bit with the zoom to try and keep the camera focused purely on the car itself. We were going to work on it in hot laps. However, that didn't quite work out as we had some issues again and didn't manage to get hot laps filmed at all. So I do apologise for the rough footage for this. So Heat 2, again, we're starting out of P3 inside line. You got Chris on the front, Trent out of 2, myself out of 3, Clive out of 4, and Craig Stevens off the rear. So mixing it up a bit, and we finally take off. We get an alright start in this one. Unfortunately, we are on road tyres, and it was one of those tracks that was sort of, do we want to go roads or do we want to stay on pins or on our dirt tyres and give some grip? Now, in the end, I feel like we probably would have been better off sticking with pins, or maybe our older style pins. But eventually, when the tyres got warm, we actually found some grip and found our groove and found our way through it. So it wasn't too bad in the end, but it was more so we're still trying to keep control of it all. But we just kept overcorrecting and spinning, and it wasn't fun. But I mean, there's not a lot you can do when this happens. So we did have a restart in this heat, and once that restart had happened, we got a little bit more confident, which you will see going in this heat race. We managed to find our groove, and I believe this is where the lights come on for the restart. So we have our restart here. Someone's hit the fence and couldn't get off. Eventually they got off, but they still dropped the red, so we'll jump it straight back to the restart. So restart happens, we're coming out of 4, Chris caused the restart, so it bumped us up a spot. Now you'll see with this, we did end up getting a bit of a better start than what we anticipated. Now, I don't know what the first 3 are doing, we're all meant to start single file, but it is what it is. That it didn't get called back, surprisingly, but not much you can do. So we hold 4th place, and as you see, the car looks a little bit better than what it did to begin with. We've actually started finding that solid part and just being able to get our groove. Chris giving us a bit of a hip and shoulder there. But we would end up coming home in 4th place. A couple of good battles with Chris there. And unfortunately we spun, and after that I kept just hitting the accelerator. I should have eased onto it, but I didn't. The checkers drop, Chris knocks us back in, but somehow they still give us a 4th place finish, so we'll take that. 3rd and final heat of the night, and the camera work is better. We have zoomed out a little bit, so people wondering why we don't zoom in on it, you now see why. So that's why we hold back a little bit. You see a little bit more of the track as well, so it makes it good. So this one we're out of P4, so we're outside. So again, it's Craig Stevens, Trent Harvey on the front row, Clive, myself, and then Chris. So it's a okay start by us. We hung out wide. Like I said, I'm not a big fan. When I first started, I was a fan of hanging out wide because I could sort of let the faster cars go by. But now I much rather the inside line because, well, you see where you're going. But starting on the outside, we didn't get off to the best of starts. Same issue, we're we're still on the roads. We've tightened up the rear end anyway, but we just couldn't get the tyre warmth into them as early as we would have liked compared to some of these other drivers. So, like you see, we've got Craig coming around us, lapping us already, but we managed to get that spot back. But the track definitely, it's hardened out. So this is what the track is like when we usually use road tyres. As you can see, the tyres started warming up, and I found the groove a little bit better than what I could before. Trying to stay, I know I'm meant to hold my line and let the leaders lap me, but if I can kind of try and stay out of the way of people, I'm more than happy to do that. But yeah, we struggled from here after heat 2. The car went backwards, and yeah, we couldn't get any results that we wanted. We had the rear end tightened up compared to what we had in the second heat. We went back and we tightened it up again for the feature, but finishing P5, that would put us out of P4 for the A main. It is feature race time, and we are all surprised that the feature race we actually managed to get to the features relatively early. So coming out of P4 for the A main, and as you guys may or may not already know, we're not a fan of the outside line. So we are just hoping for a good start, as we would love to have this result go our way in terms of getting points for the track championship. So that's probably our best start we've had. We move our way up into third, and we start to battle Clive for second. Unfortunately, his car a little bit too quick for us, so we try and maintain in third place. Chris finds the inside and tries to slide up on us. He does that and takes that spot away, and now we're dropped back down to fourth. The track was definitely a lot better than what it was the last heat, so we're pretty happy with that. The car we tightened up, as I said, at the end of heat 3. We tightened up the rear end, but unfortunately, it's driver's error. We didn't let off on the throttle as much as we like going into the corners, and yeah, there's not a lot we could do about it, especially that little crucial mistake there cost us fourth place, and we dropped back and ultimately put us up wide into the loose stuff. So trying to make sure we hit our points on the track, and yeah, we're also just trying to make sure we stay out of everyone's way. Now that we've been lapped quite a few times. Actually, I think it's the second lap we're down, so just trying to make sure we stay out of people's way now. Finish the season off with a strong car, or at least a car in one piece, so we don't have a lot of off-season work to do on it, even though we know we probably will. So we come down low, we take back that spot from Chris, and I actually think Chris has lapped us this time, but either way, yeah, we stayed in fifth pretty much the rest of the race. But if you watch carefully, I think there is a point coming up shortly where we actually got the car just a fraction airborne. Unfortunately, we didn't have the correct camera angle for it, and there's no photos of it. But the view I had from the driver's stand of the car getting airborne was actually insane. I wasn't expecting it to get airborne. So, but if you watch very carefully, you do see it a little bit in terms of like the front wheels. So letting lapped cars go by us, I think we finished like 4 laps back. May seem like a lot more than what it actually is, but yeah, I don't know why. I don't know how the lap scoring worked, but we finished 4 laps behind in 5th, which is not the result we sort of really wanted to end the season. We ideally would have loved to have had, a better finish, and possibly, fight for that podium, which we've done plenty of times this year. I think this is the incident here. Yeah, you see the car just lift off a little bit. But unfortunately we didn't get the correct camera angle, but it is what it is. But unfortunately we just didn't get the result we were hoping for. We know we can battle for podium, like we've done all year. We've had 2 podiums this year. So we doubled what we had last year, and yeah, we unfortunately finished dead last, and that's the season now wrapped up and run and done.
So finally back home, unloaded. The car is now back where it is sitting right now, sort of in front of me. Um, Eventful night to say the least. Late model, great at the start, off point at the end. I was chasing everything. I couldn't get the speed up in it, and yeah, it went backwards by feature time. I felt good at the start, and then yeah, it all just fell apart. Heat 3 into the feature, I couldn't move forward, and I was moving backwards. So unfortunately, we finished last in the late model. But with that being said, because we competed tonight, if my maths is correct, which I know what I'm like, it's probably not, but officially we find out at our awards night on May 30th. At this stage, I can't say yes or no, but at this stage we have finished third in track championship. Based off of just doing quick maths, throughout the season we've racked up enough points. We finished every race, heat and feature. We finished every race and bagged enough points that I believe we have finished third in track championship this year. So I'm pretty proud of that effort, and with the small team we have, it's a great outcome. I was happy just to finish top 5, but to be third, you know, it's wicked. I mean, even if we finished fourth or finish fourth, you know, it's still an improvement from last year. But we won't know official results until May 30th with our awards night. So I will have a sort of recap video for that one as well, which will give you guys the official points and official standings, etc. But the late model tonight, we ended up finishing dead last in the feature. We had fourth, and then a fifth and a fifth. So unfortunately, we found ourselves right at the very back all night, and that's not where we wanted to be. And we know we can be up there with everyone else. We've proven it, and it's even shown in our past videos. But I think now it's back to the drawing board. We sit down, we'll strip the car, like basically strip it completely back whenever I get the time, and we just rebuild from the ground up and make sure everything is good to go, ready for the 26-27 season. Sprint car, on the other hand, it was dismal to say the least. Had issues in hot lap starting the car. We managed to get that sorted, and it looks like that was just a blocked carby, so that was an easy enough fix. Heat 1, the steering was just really twitchy, but you just pulled back a little bit and it just sent it. Heat 2 was pretty much the same. We just had to dial in the controller a bit. Heat 3, we started to find our groove, find our momentum, and actually put down a couple of semi-decent laps. And then feature race. Feature race again. We managed to avoid a collision with another car, and then after that, we sort of found our speed, found our momentum. We set a lap. I think our best lap was like a 8.500 or something like that. So the fact that we were in the mid 8s in the sprint car was quite cool, because I don't think I've actually run anything that quick in the sprint car yet. So to be that quick was wicked. Once we got it sorted, it dialed in quite well. So unfortunately, we DNF'd in the feature for the sprint car. It seems like we burnt out a clutch. So I pressed the accelerator. The wheels wouldn't spin, but the revs would pick up, and there was no drive in it. Upon bringing the car in, rotating the wheels, the axle would turn, the diff would go, the drive line would turn, but there was just no acceleration. So we're assuming I've burnt out the clutch, but I'll find that one out at a later date. But yeah, overall, not the best of nights, but if I am correct, it is a top 3 finish for us in this track championship this year. So great result for the team, and being such a low budget, very small team where it's pretty much just myself and my partner, my daughter, um, and the occasional help from the rest of my family. It's been a really small budget team. It's been great. So props on everyone for a great season. Our last meeting of the year is the best pairs event. We don't know whether we're going to run that one or not. So waiting to see. It depends on how finances are and what goes on as to whether or not we're going to run that. So at this stage, this might have been our last meeting of the season. So that's definitely the last points meeting, but the best pairs wasn't going to be for points, but we just don't know what's going to happen at this stage. So this might have been the last meeting. So unfortunately, we finished off going backwards, but there's not much you can do about it. So that's just another season in the books, and we either move on to best pairs or we move on to the awards night and get ourselves prepped, ready to go for the 2026-27 season. And yeah, we sort of just now play it by ear and work out what we do from here. So if you guys haven't already, please make sure you go and hit the subscribe button down below. Also leave a like on the video, share it around with all your friends, Facebook posts, whatever you guys do. Just be sure to share it. Make sure the bell notification icon is on. Also go and follow our race page. Links down description down below on Facebook and Instagram. Go and also follow our sponsors. Without them this year, none of this would have been possible. And being able to be where we are now, like I said at the start, has been absolutely brilliant. So a massive thank you to Lazic Steel Roofing, Dixon's Hazard Response, Tapton Automotive Parts and Performance, and the Work Area Podcast. So without them, none of this would be possible. So go and show them some love. Everything, whole box and dice, will be down below in the description. With that being said, that's going to bring an end to this video, and this is going to possibly close out our season. If not, there will be another video coming out, so stay tuned. Make sure you keep an eye out. So thank you for the journey for this year. Bigger and better things hopefully to come in the very, very near future. But we'll see you guys in the next one, whether it's a couple of weeks or next season. So thanks for coming along. I'll speak to you guys later on.